20 reasons why people continue to dislike King Charles III. Hello and welcome back to our channel. As you may know, King Charles III has been a controversial figure since he ascended to the throne, and people have mixed feelings about him. In this video, we will discuss 20 reasons why people are still hating King Charles III. While some may view him as a positive influence, others believe that his actions and opinions are a cause for concern. His extramarital affair, political interference, advocacy for traditional industries, and use of taxpayer funds for a lavish lifestyle are just a few of the reasons why some people dislike him. Let's get started. Number 20. Monarchy as an institution. Some people criticize the monarchy as an institution and therefore dislike King Charles III by association. They argue that the idea of hereditary monarchy is outdated and no longer relevant in modern society. These critics believe that the monarchy perpetuates a system of privilege and elitism that is not consistent with democratic principles. One of the main arguments against the monarchy is that it is undemocratic. The fact that the head of state is determined by birth rather than by merit or election is seen by some as an affront to the principles of equality and democracy. Critics also argue that the monarchy is an expensive and unnecessary institution, with the royal family costing taxpayers millions of pounds each year. Number 19. Perceived lack of leadership. Some people perceive King Charles III as lacking the same leadership qualities as his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, and have criticized him for this. They argue that he does not have the same level of public support, charisma, or ability to connect with the public as his mother does. Some people have criticized King Charles III for his perceived lack of involvement in public affairs and his more reserved personality. They argue that he does not have the same level of engagement or presence and that this may make him less effective as a leader. Number 18. Handling of Brexit. King Charles III has expressed his personal views on various issues, including climate change, but has largely refrained from making public comments on political issues. However, during the Brexit debate, he reportedly expressed concern about the impact of leaving the European Union on the UK's economy and international standing. Some people believe that King Charles III's comments on Brexit were inappropriate and that he should have remained neutral on the issue, following the traditional role of the monarch. They argue that the monarch should represent all citizens, regardless of their political views, and that taking sides on political issues can damage the credibility and neutrality. Number 17. Personal conduct. King Charles III's personal conduct has led to criticism from some people. Critics often point out his reserved nature, which they see as aloof and distant. In addition to this, some people have criticized King Charles III for his alleged infidelity and his relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles. They see his affair with Camilla during his marriage to Princess Diana as betrayal, and his subsequent marriage to Camilla as a sign of disrespect to Diana's memory. This led to a negative public perception of King Charles III's character and tarnished his image. Number 16. Handling of Prince Andrew scandal. Prince Andrew's connections to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein have been a source of controversy and criticism, as some have questioned the role of the wider royal family in addressing the issue. In the aftermath of the scandal, Prince Andrew stepped back from his public duties, but some people believe that the royal family, including King Charles III, did not take appropriate action to address the situation. Some people have criticized the royal family for failing to show sufficient concern for the victims of Epstein's crimes, and for not doing enough to distance themselves from Prince Andrew and his association with the disgraced financier. Number 15. Religious views. King Charles has been open about his religious views and his commitment to the Church of England. While some people admire Prince Charles's religious devotion, his views have also been a source of controversy and criticism. For example, his strong support for the Church of England and the monarchy has been seen by some as evidence of an outdated and exclusive view of British society, and has been criticized as being out of touch with modern British values. He has been criticized for his opposition to same-sex marriage, which many see as being at odds with the values of inclusion and equality. Similarly, his opposition to euthanasia has been seen as being out of step with modern medical ethics and the principles of patient autonomy and self-determination. Number 14. Lack of transparency. He has also faced criticism for his lack of transparency on certain issues. For example, his involvement in political matters has been criticized by some as being too opaque and unclear. Prince Charles has been known to correspond with government ministers and officials on a range of issues, but the exact nature of his influence and the extent of his involvement in decision-making has been subject to debate and scrutiny. Additionally, King Charles has been criticized for his lack of transparency in his personal life. For example, his finances and those of the Duchy of Cornwall, the estate he controls, have been subject to scrutiny, with some questioning the amount of tax he pays and his use of public funds. While some argue that the king has a right to privacy, others believe that he has a responsibility to be more transparent and accountable to the public. Number 13. Traditional views. King Charles III holds traditional views that are seen by some as outdated. His support for traditional institutions such as the monarchy and the Church of England, as well as his views on social issues such as marriage and gender roles. For example, he has been criticized for his views on architecture and urban planning, which some see as being out of touch with modern design and planning practices. His support for traditional farming methods has also been criticized by some as being out of step with modern agricultural practices and environmental concerns. King Charles has also been accused of being homophobic for his opposition to same-sex marriage, and his views on the role of women in society have been seen as being outdated. Number 12. Handling of scandals. King Charles III faced his share of scandals during his reign, including the aftermath of Princess Diana's death. He was criticized for his initial reluctance to publicly mourn Diana's passing, and for his perceived lack of empathy toward her and her family. His affair with Camilla, which was seen by many as contributing to the breakdown of his marriage to Princess Diana, was widely reported in the media, and he was criticized for lack of fidelity and his insensitivity towards Diana's feelings. Moreover, his reluctance to engage with the concerns of ordinary people has been seen by some as evidence of an out-of-touch and insensitive individual. Number 11. Perception of being out of touch. This perception is based on his privileged upbringing, his conservative views, and his resistance to change. Some have argued that his conservative views and his support for the traditional institutions and practices make him resistant to change, and that he is unable to adapt to the rapidly changing world around him. Some see his support for these institutions as evidence of an unwillingness to embrace change, and a failure to understand the concerns of modern society. While some admire his commitment to tradition and his conservative values, others see him as being out of touch with the concerns of ordinary people and unable to adapt to the rapidly changing world around him. Number 10. Relationship with the media. He had a strained relationship with the media, particularly during his divorce from Princess Diana and his subsequent relationship with Camilla Parker Bowles. He has been known to be wary of the media and to be protective of his privacy and that of his family. King Charles III has also been criticized by some for being overly sensitive to negative press and criticism, and for attempting to control the narrative around himself and his family. Overall, King Charles's relationship with the media has been a source of controversy and criticism. While some see his attempts to protect his privacy and that of his family as understandable, others see them as evidence of a defensive individual who is unwilling to engage with the concerns of the public. Number 9. Personality traits. King Charles III is known for his interest in topics such as architecture and environment, and he has been criticized by some for being too serious and lacking in charisma. Critics of Prince Charles argue that his reserved personality and perceived lack of charisma make him a less effective representative for the British monarchy and the general public. They argue that he is not as adept at public speaking or engaging with crowds as other members of the royal family, and that his personality makes him seem distant and unapproachable. His lack of connection with the general public has made it more difficult for him to understand their needs and concerns. While others admire his seriousness and thoughtfulness, his personality traits have made him a polarizing figure in the public eye. Number 8. Public perception. Some people perceive King Charles III as a well-intentioned and compassionate individual who has dedicated his life to charitable causes and environmentalism. His advocacy for causes such as climate change, architecture, and organic farming has gained him some respect and admiration among certain sectors of the public. However, others view him as a privileged individual who is more concerned with his own interests and the interests of the wealthy elite than those of the public. His controversial comments on various issues such as architecture and alternative medicine have also contributed to his mixed public image and reputation. Overall, King Charles's public image and reputation are complex and mixed. These perceptions have led to criticism from some people who believe that he is not a suitable representative of the British monarchy or the general public. Number 7. Privileged upbringing. Critics of King Charles III argue that his privileged upbringing has made him out of touch with the needs and concerns of the general public. They point to instances where he has been criticized for making comments or taking actions that are perceived as being insensitive to the struggles of ordinary people. For example, in 2013, Prince Charles was criticized for commenting on affordable housing, in which he suggested that people should consider living in smaller homes. Some saw this as being insensitive to the housing crisis and the difficulty many people face in finding affordable housing. Prince Charles has also been criticized for his advocacy of alternative medicine, which some see as being out of touch with mainstream medical practices. Critics argue that his position on alternative medicine could potentially put people's health at risk if they choose to follow his advice instead of seeking medical treatment from qualified professionals. Moreover, critics argue that King Charles's privilege has insulated him from the realities of life for ordinary people, and his attempts to influence government policies and public discourse are seen as inappropriate. Number 6. Alleged affairs. There have been reports of Prince Charles having extramarital affairs, particularly with Camilla Parker Bowles, whom he later married after his divorce from Princess Diana. These allegations of infidelity and his relationship with Camilla caused a significant scandal and tarnished his public image, particularly in the aftermath of his divorce from Diana. The relationship between Charles and Camilla was particularly controversial, as it was seen as a contributing factor to the breakdown of his marriage to Diana. Many people criticized Charles for continuing his affair with Camilla despite being married, and they also criticized Camilla for her role in the affair. Prince Charles and Camilla's relationship has continued to be a source of controversy and criticism, particularly in the early years after their marriage. However, over time, public opinion of them has softened, and they've become more widely accepted as a couple. Nevertheless, the allegations of affairs, particularly with Camilla Parker Bowles, have undoubtedly tarnished Prince Charles's public image and have led to criticism and controversy throughout his career. Number 5. Controversial marriage to Camilla Parker Bowles. King Charles III's marriage to Camilla Parker Bowles has been a controversial topic for many years. The couple had known each other since the 1970s, but their relationship became a source of controversy when it was revealed that Charles was having an affair with her while still married to Princess Diana. The revelation of this affair left a negative impression on many people, both in the United Kingdom and around the world. The affair first came to light in 1992, when a recording of a private conversation between Charles and Camilla was leaked to the press. The recording, which was made in 1989, revealed that Charles had been having an affair with Camilla for several years, even while he was still married to Princess Diana. This revelation led to a public scandal and intense media scrutiny of the royal family. Many people were outraged by Charles's behavior, particularly because he was married to Diana, who was loved by the public. Diana was seen as a symbol of hope and modernity, while Charles and Camilla were viewed as representing the traditional and outdated values of the monarchy. The revelation of the affair damaged Charles's reputation and made him appear unfaithful and disloyal. Number 4. Treatment of Princess Diana. Prince Charles and Princess Diana married in 1981 and had 2 children, Prince William and Prince Harry. However, their relationship was troubled from the start, and they separated in 1992 and divorced in 1996. There have been reports that Prince Charles was unfaithful to Diana during their marriage, and this, along with their incompatible personalities, contributed to the relationship's breakdown. Diana was also known for her charity work and humanitarian efforts, which set her apart from the traditional role of a royal spouse. When Princess Diana died in a car accident in 1997, Prince Charles was criticized for his initial response, which was seen as insufficient while mourning for her death. However, he later paid tribute to her publicly, and in subsequent years, he's spoken positively about her and the impact she had had on the royal family. Despite this, some people continue to criticize Prince Charles for his treatment of Princess Diana during their marriage, particularly regarding his reported infidelity and the emotional strain it put on her. Some criticize him especially for his response to her death, arguing that it did not do enough to honor her memory at the time. Number 3. Comments on environmental issues. King Charles III has been known to publicly comment on environmental issues, particularly climate change. While some people view his advocacy as a positive influence, others criticize him for speaking on issues in which they believe he does not have the necessary expertise. Charles has been a vocal advocate for environmental causes for many years. He's spoken out on issues such as climate change, sustainability, and conservation. He's advocated for changes in the way we live our lives, including reducing our carbon footprint and increasing our use of renewable energy. However, some people argue that Charles does not have the necessary scientific or technical expertise to speak on these issues. They claim that his opinions on climate change and the environmental issues are based on personal beliefs rather than the scientific evidence. They argue that he should stick to issues he has more expertise in, such as architecture and traditional industries. Number 2. Handling of the royal family. King Charles III's handling of the royal family, including his relationships with his siblings and children, has led to criticism from some people. One issue that has been criticized is his relationship with his siblings, especially with his younger brother, Prince Andrew. King Charles III was seen as not doing enough to address the allegations against Prince Andrew. Another area of criticism in his relationship with his sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. Some people have criticized him for not being supportive enough of his sons' emotional well-being and mental health. In particular, his handling of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's departure from the royal family was seen by some as unsupportive and contributed to tensions with the family. Number 1. Involvement in politics. King Charles has been involved in politics in various ways throughout his life, which has been a subject of criticism from some quarters. King Charles has been a vocal advocate for environmental causes for many years. He's spoken out on issues such as climate change, sustainability, and conservation. While some people view his advocacy as a positive influence, others criticize it as an attempt to influence policy. Furthermore, King Charles has been accused of interfering in government affairs on occasion. For instance, in 2015, it was reported that he had been using his position to lobby ministers on various issues. Critics argue that this type of interference is inappropriate for a member of the royal family. King Charles has also been accused of exerting undue influence over his son, Prince William. Critics argue that he's attempting to shape William's views and beliefs, particularly about issues such as the environment and architecture, as he is first in line to succession. These are just some of the reasons why people are still hating King Charles III. As he's recently ascended to the throne, it remains to be seen how King Charles will address these issues and attempt to win over those who are critical of him. Comment down below your opinions on King Charles being hated. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. See you again in another video.